Bam. Lou Know It. A little video, a car update. Just want to keep putting content on the channel. So let's see. What can I say? Well, I recently got into an argument with my mother. I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again right now because I don't really have many people watching my videos. Most of my friends are liberal to very liberal. My mother was like a socialist at one point and is liberal. And my father's pretty liberal. He's from England. All the people, I live in New York. I'm surrounded by people. So I'm considered, even though I consider myself a liberal on the left side of the political spectrum, I can get considered a conservative. So recently I had a fight with my mom because I was saying the Democratic Party is pushing away sort of moderates and also Republicans, and pushing away some Democrats even, because like the extreme side of the party is just getting ridiculous. And this started a whole fight. So this is my point. If you look up like Gallup or Pew Research polls done like 2016, 2017, you're going to see above 20% of the population believes the Bible is the literal word of God. So for me, I would say 20 to 30% of the Republican right-wing base is like fundamentalists. That's my personal feeling. Could be more even. And I'm saying that there's an equal amount or an almost equal amount on the Democratic side who are sort of social justice warriors, you know, genders don't exist, like let's raise our kids without gender, like giving kids hormones, you know, certain things that are just extreme views that aren't held by the majority of the party and the majority in terms of the Democratic Party and the majority of the people on the left. And so it's like they're pushing. I mean, if you look at the overall votes, Trump got an amazing number of votes. Even if we assume that Biden's votes are all legitimate, I do think that, I think it's problematic that people on the right say it's all fraud and people on the left won't even acknowledge that there's a chance of fraud. Like, I think as someone on the left, we should say, let's investigate as much as we can and let's make sure that this is legit. Why just immediately like pretend like, nah, there's nothing there, he's the next president, and all the reports like the incoming president that he got, it's like, meanwhile there's lawsuits, like, and then the response is, well, the lawsuits are just ridiculous and they're meaningless. It's like, I mean, acknowledge what's going on. If they are ridiculous, then they won't, that'll be shown. So just acknowledge that that's what's happening, and you don't look like you're just trying to pretend like it doesn't exist. So both sides are doing it. Both sides are just, it's like the right is like it's nothing but fraud, and the left is like there's no such thing as fraud. Fraud doesn't exist. What's that? You talking about Freud? No, he was a psychiatrist. So it's like both sides need to stop being so one-sided, but it's always like that, and it's getting worse and worse. And because of that, if I criticize that like 20% of the left that I think is like too extreme, I get yelled at like I'm, how can I not, like the left isn't bad, like I'm a conservative because I don't like this social justice bullshit. Like, look, social justice is a good thing. It started as a good thing. Feminism is a good thing. Okay? Like wanting equal rights for women, if you don't believe in that, you're a piece of shit. And fuck you. But the problem is that modern feminists, or some people in, if you have a problem with the term modern feminist, as my mom did, some people in current times are releasing videos or, recorded at rallies and stuff saying things that are purely just anti-men. And then my mom responded with, well, there was a movement around my time where they wanted to cut off guys' dicks. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So then how those people would consider themselves feminists. At least some of them would, I know. And it's like that, as a feminist, if you are one, you have to, say, no, you're not a feminist. Like, it's the same thing with like people not criticizing the violence of the Black Lives Matter protest enough. It's like, if you're on the side of something and that thing starts doing bad things, you have to acknowledge the bad things. And then people will be more willing to accept the good part of it. So I feel like the right is fucking up with that. They're not doing it enough, and they're losing. Like, that's why they didn't really take much in the House. I think they lost in the House. The Senate, I mean, looks like it's gonna go Republican. I think the runoffs still aren't finished, but like, it's gonna go Republican. And it's like, that's because if the Democrats were a little more reasonable and not like, it's like, just, argue for the things that legitimately matter. I'm not against like regulation and progressive tax plans, as long as they're not as extreme as Bernie's, but just the gun control, I think you need to do it in a way that's like, you're not trying to limit people owning guns. You just want to maximize the amount that we can trace, the source of a gun. And that's fair, and people that are, I feel like people that are gun nuts, like, it's not, they're like, well, I don't want them to know where my guns are. It's like, well, I'm sorry. They know where your fucking car is, right? You register your car. If you have to register your car, register your damn gun, okay? It doesn't say you have to keep it on a certain premises, does it? Just know that you bought it, so you're responsible for that gun. If someone gets killed with that gun, they can come to you and be like, where's that gun? Did you sell it to someone? Did you give it to someone? You know what I mean? They can trace just stuff. It's not about them coming to take your guns. You could have a stockpile and a different address and be like, I don't keep my guns in my house. You know what I mean? If they come to take your guns, okay? So stop saying that. I went off on a tangent. My point is that I'm on the left, and the left is killing itself. And so, with this whole election thing, I think the left should have pushed for more investigations. I think that there was enough evidence of certain things happening that shouldn't have happened. And if the left really didn't steal the election, which I don't believe they did, because why would they not then steal the House and the Senate? If they didn't, then, just investigate it, investigate it. Like, this is our federal elections, there definitely is hypocrisy in the left, where it's like, in 2016, you were hearing so many calls to investigate because of Russia, and now it's like this. There's other calls to investigate, and it's nothing. It's like, why is it nothing? And just investigate it. I'm still confident that Biden will win even with an investigation, because I think those mail-in votes were just people that, that's why nobody showed up at his rallies. Why do you think they were empty? If you imagine all his rallies and all the people that were, and all the emptiness, those are all mail-in votes. Because if they're not going to go to the rally, they're not going to go to the voting station. So think about how many mail-in votes there are. So it makes sense that he would get that. It makes perfect sense. But just study it. Show it unequivocally. You know what I mean? Like, and then you're good. So I don't know, man. The left is wasting opportunities for unity. The right is going to be hypocritical if they don't accept this election. Super hypocritical. And I don't think there's going to be civil war. There's not going to be socialism under Biden, especially with a Republican Senate. So just, calm down. Life is going to be basically the same under either of these cats. Like, Trump is an asshole, man. Fuck Trump, okay? He's an asshole. The way he talks to people's an asshole. He's a bullshitter. Like, I don't care that he has been honest about things that other presidents and stuff have not been honest about. He's been upfront. He's not beholden to the establishment. But that doesn't change the fact that he's a piece of shit. And I'm sorry if I don't want a piece of shit. That's not my feelings. People say, oh, that's your feelings. That's your feelings. No, I think that there's appropriate conduct for certain things, right? I'm making a YouTube video and I'm talking, cursing and all this stuff. If I was the president of the United States, I would not talk like this. If I was the CEO of Best Buy or whatever, if I was the manager at Best Buy, I wouldn't talk like this. There's, there's ways of conduct when you're, dictating diplomacy. You can you can do everything that you do and everything that you say you're going to do and just not say it like an asshole. You can be like, listen, I'm going to do that. I think that's right. I think you're wrong. That's it. You don't have to, make fun of people and like he's just a fucking asshole. Like, I don't need that in my as my president. And I don't think things are going to be that different under Biden. And watch and see the economy, all that shit. It's more based around like what the economy is doing, things like COVID affect it, you know what I mean? Like housing market affects it, like those things. It's not the president, you know what I mean? Like our trade deals aren't going to make a huge difference in our economy. And like there's going to be some job loss, but like stop trying to save coal and manufacturing jobs and switch it to higher automated and fucking, software jobs and develop new lines of work. You know, like that's what America's always done. Anyway, Biden is it's not going to be socialism with Biden, and I'm assuming Biden is going to get this presidency. And I watch everybody here. That's very few listening to me. Watch, it's not going to be that different. I promise you. I will come on here, make a video doing like smacking pies in my face if he tanks the economy somehow, because he can. What power does he have to do that? The economy will do what the economy will do with some help here or there from the president. So you know, it's silly, man. So I voted for Biden. I hate Biden. I don't like Biden. He's establishment. He's bullshit. I hate Trump. I think I hate him so much as a human being. I want to punch him in the face. So like, I mean, I wouldn't, because he's president. He's just an asshole. He's a douche. He's full of shit. Everything's the best. Blah, 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 the best. I don't, like, come on, man. How can you support some guy like that? So yeah. But then I get criticized, if I criticize Black Lives Matter, some of the violence there. Like, it's like, I criticize both sides, and I criticize, I'm moderate, I still fall on the liberal side, I'm pro-abortion rights to the, last term. I'm pro, I think immigration reform. I think, there needs to be an easier path to citizenship for people that have been here and haven't committed crimes. I think, taxes, like I said before, I'm for, progressive tax structure, just not quite as high as Bernie's. I'm for, I'm for, trying to find a way we can do single payer health care. Like, I'm liberal on a lot of things. Guns, I'm a little more conservative on. I don't think they should, I think they should track it better, but they should not be taking away any guns, not banning any guns. That's not what the number of people that are killed with like assault weapons and stuff in this country is very minimal compared to other stuff. It's not something that we need to be, wasting resources on. We're overpopulated anyway. All right, so that's my last video. I don't know what I'm gonna call that. I'm gonna politics. I'm gonna put everything in there. Woo! See if I get some hits. Lou know it.